hello to everyone watching along. Myself and Craig are going to be here for the next 5 or 10 minutes to give you a look through the Dodge Viper. You're obviously looking at the Alfa Romeo Giulietta now, but in case you can't already hear it, the Viper is making its way into the workshops now. And doesn't it sound incredible? Let's leave it running for a moment to hear it.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I said let's leave it running for a moment to hear it.
Can we start it again?
Myself. Yeah, let's have a listen.
I was just thinking this might be the last time I drive this car.
I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but we can't even hear ourselves think right now. It's incredible. Hi, Kevin.
This car is brilliant. So I was saying, if you didn't hear, this is possibly the last time we drive this car, because tonight, amazingly, this car, which has been with us for a good few months, is actually going to be given away tonight. I'm personally gutted that this car is being given away tonight. So I bought this really as something that it was going to possibly be a keeper, or we were looking at possibly selling the car. We really didn't know what we were going to do with it, but it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own a car like this. And when I grew up with having this sort of car as a poster car on my wall, I think at the moment, there's like 2 or 3 of them available in the UK. So they are so rare. And then this came up in this condition, and we thought, we've got to have it. Last weekend, we went to Helmingham Hall Car Show, which is a huge classic car show here. I was privileged enough to be the one that drove this over there. Went down a storm when it was there. So
turned heads on the way there. We're in a convoy of classic cars, but
I know.
You could hear the Viper over everything else.
It's an incredible car, I can't stress enough. So there's still a massive amount of tickets available for this car, a colossal amount of tickets. I mean, it was just over, yesterday we were under half sold, knowing we were still going to be giving this car away today. We are now slightly over half sold. It's going very well on ticket sales at the moment. Very, very unlikely that it's going to be a sellout. So if you are on the fence, if you're not really sure whether to go for it or not, strongly recommend you do. Because,
yeah, the odds are looking far better than you may have expected when you first saw it posted. We're looking at only 60–70% of tickets sold at most.
It's going to be crazy. Someone is going to have it's just incredible. Look at it. I don't think there's ever a time. It's a bit like the Aston Martin kind of thing. You know, when you look at an Aston Martin and every single angle you think they've just designed this car right. I think it's the same with the Dodge Viper. There's not one angle I personally think that you'd look at and go, oh, they didn't do that right, or I would have done that differently.
If there's anything in particular you guys would like to see, like I said at the start, myself and Craig are going to be live for the next 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. So give us a shout if there's any questions you may have. I noticed Nick's also watching along, Nick upstairs. If you have any questions, give us a shout now and we'll do our best to answer them live on air.
Absolutely. And any other questions of any of the other cars you see in here. So we're just kitting it up ready for tonight's draw, obviously being the Dodge Viper, but you've got the Alfa just sitting behind us, which is live on the website at the moment.
So Paul's got a question that a lot of people have asked. Says, does it come with a hard top cover? Yes, it does. If you have a look at the products page,
yes.
You'll be able to see a few photographs with the hard top on.
It's a removable, so it's the soft top, but it's a solid soft top. I think it does fold away.
We've taken it off because it doesn't look very nice, does it?
Well, I don't know. I love it.
The styling is so much better with the roof
Yeah,
off.
it's so much better without, but I personally, even the lip over the side, I just think everything about it's lovely. And it also comes, sorry to interrupt, it also comes with a fitted cover as well, which is a Dodge Viper fitted cover. So basically you put it on and it's red with white stripes.
Simon's saying 2-man job, but can we lift the bonnet? We can give it a go,
We can lift the bonnet, yeah. You have to be very delicate with the bonnet of these.
You can do it on a single person,
yeah,
but it's much better to do it with 2 people.
Bear with me.
I'll handle this side if you
Not been lifted for a while, so I've got to try and remember. There we go.
It's a clamshell, isn't it? So it folds up at the front now, doesn't it?
Yes. Here we go. Right, so if you get one side, I get the other. Ready?
Okay, you ready?
And there she is.
Oh, in sync there. This is the reason why you buy a ticket, isn't it? This is what this car is all about.
So like Molly touched upon earlier on in a previous draw, I think it was last Thursday night, this is a truck engine. So those big American trucks that you see has got one of these in it. So it's an 8-litre V10
Goes a bit better in a lightweight sports car though, doesn't it?
Do you know, I'm really impressed with this because a lot of people, a lot of comments have sort of said, oh, they don't corner very well, they don't drive very well. They do. I think well, I obviously haven't taken it around a corner super fast, because why would you? I haven't needed to, but certainly it drives really well and it seems to stick to the road. I was expecting it to be like, I guess like the classic Mustangs that are a bit like a boat that jumps around everywhere.
They've got the tyres for it. It's 335 wide, so half the vehicle is rubber on the back. There's so much tyre there because it needs it to put down that amount of power.
Absolutely, yeah. Can we just lower this?
Phil's asking, is that a blue Morris in the background? There's two blue cars in the background, one of which is a Riley and the other one's an Alfa.
Yeah, so the Alfa's on the website at the moment. That was launched yesterday or the day before. So that'll be coming up next week-ish, I think. Is it next week? The draw?
Yeah.
That's very soon, so you can grab your tickets for that one. And then, like Freddie said, you've got your Riley as well, which came over from South Africa. So that isn't going to be a competition car. That is a car that we have for sale, as is the Series 1. The Riley we've had for a while. The Land Rover we picked up a couple of weeks ago, essentially as a barn find. I know that's banded around a lot, barn finds. But that was sitting in a barn, and the gentleman that had it was moving to Southampton, and that was fairly close to us. So we got that, we've recommissioned it, we're sorting out the brakes, and then that will be up for sale soon.
I can see Richard's watching along. Richard, who won the MGB at the weekend, so good to see you, Richard. I know you've just spoke to Gordon about your car that's coming to you very soon.
Very soon.
It's nice to hear that you're excited for the
car. Very soon indeed. But the point for this really is to grab your last minute tickets. It's what is it now? It's now 20 to 12, so 7.5 hours time, we'll be live for the draw of the Dodge Viper.
Safe to say there's probably going to be tickets left on this car still.
Yeah, I mean, it's just over half sold at the moment, about 55, 56% sold. Now, the last few hours, it does creep up, so don't sort of think, I'll wait until the last minute to see how it goes, because you never know, it might sell out. There's a lot left, but even if there is a lot left, we still do the draw anyway.
Stephen Matthews, sorry to interrupt. Stephen Matthews says the Merc behind you requires some assembly. What's the story with that?
The story of that, so this is my personal car, which I've probably had in a very similar state to this for about 3 years now. And I keep thinking to myself, we'll get to it. Each summer comes along and we think, oh, I'll be ready for this summer's show. But like always, you know, it's a little bit like if you're a tradesman, you tend not to do stuff in your house at home because you're busy doing other people's. And it's the same story with this. So it's in the assembly stage soon. We've got the interior already. It's gone for a complete colour change. When I got the car, it was a lighter silver than this. So I've gone for a slightly darker silver. There's a name for this, isn't there? If Nick was here, he'd tell me.
I'm not sure what that means.
If Nick's watching, he'll tell us the name. Anyway, it's a slightly darker. It's almost like gunmetal, slightly lighter than gunmetal. Is he on?
He's not on.
Oh, okay.
But Kevin Hancock's dropped a comment saying, when's the next Porsche going to be on?
Soon. I'm just trying to think where we're at.
You teased us with a Porsche a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that sort of seems to have... I'm saying it's not happening. That's the other side of the world. So it's certainly not going to be happening soon. But we were looking at one yesterday, so it could possibly be coming up soon.
We hear your comments, though, and
absolutely.
There's a lot of people asking for Porsches, so...
We're always looking out for what's next. It's like the MGB. This morning we were talking about how well the MGB went. It was obviously given away on Sunday at Helmingham. But it sold out a little bit too early, so it shows that those sort of cars are popular. So we try and have a good mix of cars. I mean, you look in here, not one is, well, so they're not all the same, there's two minis, but other than that, we try and keep a variation all the time to keep it nice and fresh. And, well, you know, some might like the Dodge Viper, others might like the Mini. You know, you might not fit into both categories, so we try and please everybody. But absolutely, keep your comments coming on any of our social posts, and we'll try and pick up on them and try and look for cars that people want.
Well, on that note, Phil's left us a comment to say, keep looking for a Ferrari 308, guys. We'd love to do a Ferrari. It's only a matter of time before we do one. Phil McIver.
Right, Phil. So that is definitely one that's on the agenda. If I could find one and snap it up soon, I absolutely would. So yeah, that's definitely on the radar, because someone advised me along, it was one of the big auction houses said now is the right time to buy a Ferrari because they are sort of at the bottom, classic Ferraris especially, they don't seem to be selling as well anymore. So now is the right time to buy classic Ferraris, possibly not the right time to sell, but we definitely keep our eye out for one, because I think that would be such an awesome competition to win a classic Ferrari.
Gordon Burton said it's so difficult choosing prize cars. It really is, because not only do we have our wish list of cars that we want to find,
Absolutely.
most cars we go and see aren't up to our standards.
And we do that. That's a really good example. I mean, it's only, the last couple of weeks we've been to see 3 or 4 cars, and we travel all over the country. I mean, we've got covered trailers that go up and down delivering cars all the time, and 9 times out of 10 we go up at the same time to look at something in that area. But as Freddie said, you get there and they're misdescribed a lot of the time. What we think is absolutely beautiful and it's ready to go, it isn't always ready to go. We get there and it's like, oh, it needs to do this and needs to do that, and we have to walk away from it. So
Simon's saying no 308, but go for an F355 instead. Well, let's see. Whoever's comment gets some more thumbs up, we'll take that as a public opinion.
Both of those would be absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. If I was to pick my my garage, it would be a Dodge Viper and a 355. They would probably be the 2 cars that sit in my garage. So yeah, completely agree with you, and I think everybody here agrees with you. Both of those Ferrari suggestions are brilliant. I mean, I did actually toy with the idea of a Mondial because they are, well, dare I say it, they're the everyday man's, woman's Ferrari because they're cost effective to buy. Therefore, your ticket prices will be good and your odds will be good, and you still get to own a classic Ferrari. But yeah, 308, 355.
I quite like the idea of a 360, a little bit more of a modern classic,
one.
but yeah, let us know if you agree or disagree with that opinion.
Seems like Ferraris are possibly the way to go today.
Well, we've had such a great success with the Porsche 911s that we've done, so perhaps those slightly higher value classics are nice to do every now and again. But as Craig touched upon, it's nice to offer a variety. One minute there'll be a Ferrari, the next minute there'll be a Mini or an MGB or a Triumph Spitfire.
Definitely, yeah, keep your suggestions coming in. Now, if you're watching along now, or if you're watching along to this video a little bit later on today, tonight's draw is a really important one. If you can tune in at 7 o'clock, we're mixing things up, we're changing things. So it'll be the full team here, so it'll be Freddie on camera, who's on camera now. I'll be here, Molly will be joining us later on, as will Nick. But we'll have some extra people with us as well. And it's a really exciting show, and hopefully all going well, it will be how the future of the shows will become.
You want to make it entertaining for you guys watching along, first
We're
and foremost.
always trying to think of new ways to keep it fresh and to keep you watching along and entertained. Because yes, you're coming on to see if you've won a car, but it's nice to have other things going on in the background as well. And we're conscious that we're sort of, here's our workshops, here's this, here's that. It's not all about us. That's not what we wanted out of this. So yeah, if we can tune in tonight, 7 o'clock, hopefully the show will be a little bit more entertaining for you to watch along. And keep your suggestions coming for what you'd like to see on the shows as well, because moving forward, that's our aim, is to keep improving.
Well, we've got some suggestions through, not for the show, but for cars coming in. But I thought I'd read them out because there's some awesome suggestions coming through. Stephen Matthews says anything with a Lancia badge, to be fair, would be great.
Yeah.
It would, wouldn't it?
It would.
There's some other great comments coming through. Cortina 1600E, Gordon Burton would like to see, or a Cortina GT as a comp car.
Really good.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Certainly. We've had good success with the Fords that we've done in the past.
But you think of just those suggestions alone. I mean, on one hand, you've got a Porsche 911, sort of 80s, 90s, and against the Cortina. So it just shows who's watching along and the fact that everybody likes different things. So, yeah, we try and keep it fresh and exciting and keep your suggestions coming. And we'll try and get things like that, and we'll keep dripping new ones in that are a little bit different, like the Dodge Viper.
Well, Richard's in for the Viper. Richard Hancock's who won our MGB the other week.
Oh.
Richard, you would not be the first double winner. We had a gentleman near to us in Lowestoft win 2 cars off of us in the past. He won a Triumph Spitfire
and the SD1
and an SD1.
He's still got the SD1.
Andy
The
Oswald.
Spitfire he sold because he it was a bit too small, I think, wasn't it?
That's right.
It wasn't
yeah.
as comfortable as he wanted it to be. But
the
SD1
was his
I
dream.
even tried to speak to him the other day because someone contacted us and said, do we know if he wanted to sell the SD1, and he doesn't, so that's really nice. But talking about, we were actually having a conversation in the office as well earlier on this week about, I wonder how many of the cars are still with the owners who won it, and there's a lot. I mean, Carl Riley, who won our Triumph TR3, we often, he supports every single show we do. He came to our show a couple of weeks ago. We saw him at Helmingham the other day. He's still got his. Sean's mum came to the show at Helmingham. Well, Sean won our Mark II Jag a year ago at Helmingham Hall. So she came to the stand and she said he's still using it, and he actually went to Snetterton on the racetrack with it last week. He didn't race it, but he got to go around Snetterton in his Jag. So it's so nice to hear that people still have the cars that they've won.
So talking to previous winners, Robin's on as well. Robin Yates, winner of our SL55.
Hi, Robin.
He disagrees with me. He's saying, nah, it's mine, Freddie. I think he's talking about the Viper.
The Viper.
Yeah, so he wants to
Whoever
be the
gets
double
this
winner.
Viper is absolutely not going to be disappointed. Honestly, I love this car. I think it's probably, I say it quite a lot. I think it's certainly up there as one of the best competitions I personally think we've done.
It's an icon of the 90s, isn't it?
You are?
It's an icon of the 1990s.
Oh, it's incredible. And the thing is, you don't see another one. Even if you take it up the road here in Suffolk, everyone is going to tell you. You can just tell everyone's thinking the same thing. That's a Dodge Viper. You know, you just never see them. There's only 3 that are for sale, and you could have one. I mean, imagine this. It's big, you know. It's not the most practical car, agreed. People have commented on the fuel prices and things like that. Of course, you know, it's not practical in that sense. You're not going to get in it every single day and use it as your daily. But imagine having that on your driveway to take to shows, and look at the weather for it. There's so many shows here in Suffolk at the moment, and I'm sure there's shows all over the country. Take that to a show and it's going to turn heads.
So Kevin Hancock's back on and says, look how far you've come since your first car competition. Well, we were originally planning on doing one a month, and now here we are doing one every single week. So we really appreciate each and every one of you that's watching along and enters our draws. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to run these competitions.
No, absolutely. And yeah, it's a huge thank you to everybody. That first one we did, which was the MGB, that was a real struggle for us because we've been known as a restoration company for years. And when you've got that sort of name for yourself as a restoration company, and then you come out as a competition company, it's really difficult to convince people that it's real. I mean, even to now, you sort of get a lot of people that have never seen it before will go, oh, that's not real. Of course it's real. You know, we've got winners to prove to you now. But yeah, it's for everybody at home that buys tickets and supports us and comes to our shows and comes to other shows and just talks to their friends about the competitions that's made it what it is. And like we say, tonight's show at 7 o'clock is going to hopefully be one step up from all of the previous ones, and that's what we want to continue to do. This building you're in now, we've still got the hangar, we've still got the workshops, we're continually trying to improve, and it's all thanks to you that we can do that.
Absolutely, here. Stephen's left us a comment. He's saying he looked after a Viper at Britcar in 2008, the 24-hour race.
Right.
He said they made a really crazy noise. Really hope I win. Well, he's already got first-hand experience of what they're like, and we wish you good luck, Stephen.
Well, like I say, I took this to Helmingham the other day, and you still hear the engine, even after it's switched off. It's in your head for a good 5-10 minutes afterwards. You can hear your journey that you've just had. It's an amazing feeling.
Asa Williamson saying, can we hear it run? Well, we started it up at the start of the video, so as soon as we come live off air, this video will sit on our Facebook page, or if you can rewind back, I don't know if you can rewind back, but certainly once it's published, you can re-watch this video. The first couple of minutes, you can hear the car.
And a previous video, I want to say it was the Sunbeam Alpine, maybe, Sunbeam Rapier. Didn't we start the video off with the Viper down the front, sort of at our gates to British Classic Cars?
Yeah.
And you can see us driving it in.
So
there's plenty around, and obviously you can see the video as well. And like Freddie said, we drove it in at the beginning of this one. So let's just touch upon this very quickly. So yesterday we were less than 50% sold on this. Now we are only 50%, just over 50% sold on this. Yes, that is going to improve. Your odds are going to improve, but I certainly don't think all of the tickets will sell for this car tonight, but it's still being drawn tonight. So
Nick's just dropped a comment. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Nick's just dropped us a comment saying there's 3,943 tickets remaining. So still a huge amount of tickets on offer for the Viper.
Just think of that. So tonight we're going to be going live and we're going to be picking numbers. And if it stays like that, it's nearly 4,000 empty ticket numbers.
Could be here a while.
Yeah. I mean, we did a Daimler once before, very early on. We had to pick 7 numbers before we got to Gabriel, who won the car in the end. And that's quite possibly going to happen tonight. But you think, if you haven't got a ticket, or you're toying with the idea of buying 2 tickets and you've only got 1 ticket, it's well worth doing it because there is 4,000 empty numbers tonight that could well be picked out first.
So Philip's asked a question, which was also asked earlier on in the video, which we touched upon, but just to refresh your memory. He's saying, do you have a roof and door windows? Yes to both, Philip. If you have a look at the photos on the product page, you'll be able to see some with the roof and door windows on it as well. We've taken it off because on a day like today, it's far too hot to have the roof on.
And it's more practical as well. So one thing about the Dodge Viper, which we've touched upon on various videos before, was my first encounter with this car. So when it first arrived, it was a day I was going to pick my little lad up from school, and I thought, well, I've got to go in a Dodge Viper to pick him up from school. So I took it there. I sat outside for a while, took the keys out of the ignition and put them on the centre, and then got out the car and realised there's no door handles on the outside of a Dodge Viper. So that's one thing to bear in mind. I think Generation 2 has the has a button like the TVR does on the window, but this didn't. And I was thinking, oh my God, the roof was on, it was raining, the side screens were in, and my keys were inside. But yes, we did get into it in the end. But yes, very important to know that we keep the windows off, but yes, it's got the windows in and they basically slot into here. It's very much like a huge, powerful go-kart. You know, there's nothing sort of inside it that's overcomplicated. There's not too many electrics to it. The roof
slot into these holes here.
Yeah, so they clip in there basically, and then the roof sits on the top and it overhangs there and there. It's very straightforward, very simple. But yes, it comes with that. It comes with the cover as well, which is red. It replicates the colour of the car, but it's a special fit for the Viper, so that comes with that as well. And as well, it's delivered to anywhere in the UK, so if you're up in the north of Scotland and we're down in sunny Suffolk, this will be put on a trailer and it'll be delivered by us personally to your house. So you can ask the guy who's driving it, because the guy who's driving it, the trailer, will be one of our technicians. So anything you need to know, we're here obviously to help. But grab your tickets now. So it's now coming up to 12 o'clock or nearly 12 o'clock. At 7 o'clock tonight, we'll go live for the Dodge Viper. It's a very exciting show, so if you can tune in at 7 o'clock, please do, and please interact with us. Give us your comments so we can talk along. So hopefully you'll enjoy tonight's show with the full team here, but this will be the star attraction of tonight's show. It's just over 50% sold, so incredible odds as things stand at the moment. Grab your tickets, and we'll see you in about 7 hours' time for the live draw.